Hello and welcome back to the Survival Horror Guide, a series where we play and then review survival horror games. We rate them on their fear factor, give them an overall score, and then we send it over to the series' totally arbitrary rating system to see how it stacks up against the rest of the survival horror competition. Today we're taking a look at Silent Hill 4: The Room, which I just finished playing for the very first time. The general consensus in the Silent Hill series is the first game set the pace, set the feel for the series, 2 perfected it, and 3 was kind of more of the same. Granted, they're all good games. And then there's 4, which definitely shook up the formula and gave players a much different Silent Hill experience. I always try to support game developers who dare to try something different with an established series, even though, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. In Silent Hill 4: The Room's case, some things absolutely work, and then some things kind of don't.
What the hell? What's going on here?
Silent Hill 4: The Room has protagonist Henry Townsend trapped inside of his apartment, room 302. This area serves as kind of like a hub world in your journey, but it also plays a pivotal role in the game's plot. It turns out the previous occupant of 302 mysteriously went missing, while investigating the occupant before him, who was a serial killer who commits suicide. His name was Walter Sullivan, who also had ties to a mysterious cult that happened to, of course, be based out of Silent Hill. Walter serves as the main villain of the game, and honestly, the game's story is far more about Walter than it is Henry. We're kind of just experiencing the story through Henry's eyes. And actually, the story is one of the biggest strengths of the game. It was super interesting. Definitely kept my interest all the way to the end. I loved how the room would absolutely screw with the player. Gradually the room would change, your bathtub fills with blood, there's a freaking peephole in the wall where you can spy on your neighbor Eileen. Later on, ghosts actually start taking over certain parts of the room and you need to put down candles to cleanse the area. It's awesome. Ooh! I want to see the peephole, dude. Oh! What? What the fuck? So many crazy things happen in this apartment. It just had me investigating everything over and over again just to see what the hell's gonna happen next. And while Henry was trapped inside of his room, seemingly unable to get out, this giant hole appears in his bathroom. This hole leads to different worlds. It's like a portal. The areas that you travel to all have a relation to Walter Sullivan and his upbringing, his orphanage, the subway that he used to take, the apartment building where room 302 is located, all while learning more about his past and his mission, why he kills people in the first place. I swear, each place you visit gets progressively more and more dank and crazy. The artistry that goes into making these environments be as gross and as grimy as possible is an accomplishment. Around every corner is something just disgusting. The water prison in particular gave me the heebie-jeebies, man. I didn't like it. There is one major downside though that was super disappointing. Halfway through the game, you literally are now backtracking through all of the previous areas you've already been to. And on top of all of that, you're doing it all while escorting another character, your next door neighbor Eileen. So yes, half of the game turns into an escort mission through areas you've already been to. At the very least, you can equip Eileen with her own set of weapons, but that too comes with a downside because there were many times where I was simply trying to get through an area, but Eileen would instead focus on attacking enemies. She needs to be close in proximity to you when going through a door, otherwise she gets stuck in the previous area. This definitely slowed things down. Speaking of slowing things down, as part of the story, Eileen gets severely injured after being attacked by Walter, so by the time she joins you halfway through the game, she walks with a limp, she hobbles. So you're basically forced to walk and go slowly. It really feels like this artificially makes the game longer. In the grand scheme of things, this game is not very big. There are not that many areas, really. But having to retread through previous areas while going as slowly as possible, it definitely hurts the experience. And then there's the combat. Look, the combat in all of the Silent Hill games is not good. They're not games whose strengths lie in the combat. But for the number of enemies that Silent Hill 4 throws at you, it's gotta be better than this. Just look at this. It's slow, it's clunky, there's zero impact or satisfaction when attacking, nothing feels good, and most of the game's combat is using melee weapons, which are far more painful and annoying to use than the simple handgun. It really got to the point where why even put combat in this game at all? I understand that they probably feel like they had to, but still, it too ends up hurting the experience. What the? He just blanket balled me. Are you fucking serious? Is this some sort of joke? The creature designs are cool, but they're not as varied as they should be. Like, the first time I saw the twin victim monster standing there pointing at me and shit. Oh, is he pointing at me? Ah! It creeped me the hell out. But then you see him again and again. Then you face like 8 of them in a group all at once, and they start losing their effectiveness. Or like these damn buzzing insect monsters. So many of them, dude. They're not scary, they're not hard to kill, they're not fun to fight. They're just annoying, and there's so many of them. But listen, I've covered now the negative stuff about the game, but that's pretty much all of the grievances I had. In truth, I really did enjoy my time with Silent Hill 4: The Room. The story, which we already talked about, was one of the biggest strengths, and I absolutely loved all of the creepy environments. The tone and the feel of this game is something truly unique. One area in particular, the hospital, has this like long hallway with a ton of doors and rooms that you can explore. And I swear, each one of these rooms is batshit crazy. Each one more messed up, more disturbing than the next. You can totally tell that the devs had a good time coming up with all this stuff. Ah! What the fuck? One room is just like a giant Eileen head, that's it. There's no explanation, you don't need one. Just the type of surreal madness you'd expect to find in a Silent Hill game. This game is full of moments like that. While I have some issues with some of the mechanics, the combat especially, it wasn't so grating that it ruined my experience. Oh! What? Look. Fucking... Oh! And now that I've finished the game, the things that really stuck with me aren't the things that initially bothered me, but rather the things that I actually liked. The crazy storyline, the unique concept, the bizarre moments, and the scares, which this game has in spades. And do all this crazy shit. Is this where we came from? Oh! What the hell, dude? You scared the shit out of me, man. On the fear factor scale, this game is an 8.5. Honestly, if I played this game when I was a kid, instead of a desensitized old man like I am now, this game would have scared the shit out of me. There is so much creepy imagery in this game. It can be super unsettling at times. Overall, this game is an 8. There's so many great things that this game has going for it, but it's hindered by some design choices, especially in the back half of the game. Now, taking it over to the series' totally arbitrary rating system, you know what? This game takes top spot, and bumps all of the competition down one. Sorry guys. If you guys want to check out my full playthrough of Silent Hill 4: The Room, then you should definitely check out my Let's Play channel for all of my horror game playthroughs and all kinds of other random stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Survival Horror Guide. As always, let me know what you thought about it, and hit that like button if you did enjoy it. Also, let me know what games you guys like to see covered on this series in the future. Thank you so much for watching this one. Peace.